Albuquerque kind of work together with one another. And I'd like to recognize Mr. Mike Toya. I see him, a gentleman that you hear him on just about every talk show here in Albuquerque, and you need to know anything that's happening, call Mike, you know, and certainly enjoy his friendship, his respect, and I thank you for that veteran's bracelet, and I always think of him in a good way. Another young lady that you hear every day, Miss Tara Gatewood. Where's Tara here? Oh, way back, hiding in a corner, from Native America Calling. Always doing a fine job, and as always, and covering today's event. So again, I wanted to ask her to come up, you know, maybe express herself in a few words. I certainly enjoy her intellect, her coverage on a lot of the issues that go across Indian country. Very intelligent young lady, and again, covering a lot of controversial issues. And again, enjoy her friendship, and asked her to say a few words again. Again, Miss Tara Gatewood from Isleta, Pueblo.
Inakakim Herimba, and boy, thank you for asking me to speak. And I ask forgiveness for any of my elders who are in the room to speak before you, and I thank and honor the family for bringing us together. And I think anytime, you know, we think of somebody, we should think of the family, and just want to say thank you so much for sharing him with us and sharing him with the world. And I think it's caused me to think more about our stories and why it's important to really understand who's in your life. And so I do a lot of coverage of Native issues, as Boy said, but also taking a close look at our Native music. And I think something that's really exciting to acknowledge is the work that Paul put out there. It goes around the world, and, you know, try this sometime, you know, walk into a room or someplace and just go sing one of his lyrics and see whose ears pop up. But this is an individual who really influenced so many people through his music, through his words, and as we've heard today, in their own lives. And I think it's just really great that we are recognizing Paul and everything he did. When I started thinking about how did he influence my life, I guess he was there before I even knew who he was. My parents worked with him. I saw the album in different places in my family's homes, and I didn't really know what that was. And then when I came into the road to start listening to more Native music and making sure we were putting that music out there, it was just great because he's kind of been there the whole time. And I think we can't say enough about the different barriers that he broke for Native musicians to be seen as living people today, making music and telling the stories of our people. And it's also exciting to be among Native musicians who are here today. We'll probably hear from more, JJ Otero, and I'm seeing others in the room. But these are our musicians who are going to help keep those things going. So we do need to recognize them. I think that's a gift that I really appreciate that Paul brought to us. But I can't say any more than to tell the family thank you so much for sharing him all with us and letting us learn alongside. So, again. Thank you, Chair.
The calling. You got any issues? Give her a call. Covers everything controversial, and certainly appreciate the umpiring. At this time, I'd like to recognize a special gentleman. Going to know the years since my return back here to New Mexico. In my eyes, perhaps one of the better, not the best flute player. They call them flutists, I think, the term today. Gentleman that's traveled throughout the world. I enjoy going over to his home. He has ceremonies very periodically. He and Wally Baldwin host a number of traditional ceremonies at their home. And I think he just returned from London, right? London, yeah. Just a day or so. He's on tour. He's in demand throughout the world. He's an ambassador and musician. And I might compliment him on again, keeping the Pueblo culture center alive. He and Boris doing a fine job, of course, and he's the curator, or not curator, but the individual director of the sales store, I believe, Kumata or whatever. He can explain it better than I. So at this time, I'd like to recognize Mr. Andrew Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. White, and thank you everybody for being here. Adoyat edinido le chimnano tlini, kanjuno eithasi tlini, she yachal son shlom, but an bashish chin, adokia ani che, to tsin hapitni tashnele, what are edin mention. Of course, I just addressed to you of what type of individual I am. Through kinship, I am of Haltsoa as I journey my life, and of course, it is very customary that most and all of our native people, they introduce themselves to the clan, and I just address my journey of life where I introduce my mother's clan as I come as an infant. I also introduce my father's, which at that journey of life I'm more of an adolescent. I also introduce my my mother's parents, that my paternal grandparents. By that time, I'm a parent. And I also introduced my paternal grandparents. By that moment in time, I'm more of an elder. I weathered the world, and hopefully to give back to our community of making those right decisions. And of course, it's very difficult to address those kinds, and that's just a reflection of the road of life. Mr. Ortega had walked that road, and he certainly did all quarters of life and did a lot of influence. And I think the one that I've most admired, I didn't know him well, but he was a medicine man. And I think at this moment in juncture with all of our chaos in the world, we probably need more of his lecturing and his schooling about nativism, about spirituality, about recognizing one's natural order, taking care of our physical body so we can able to do things and help each other mentally and of course emotionally to be strong, because there's a lot of changing facets in our lives. And then the most important factor is spirituality. And spirituality comes in very many different forms, and I think with Native definitely gives a resurrection of contacting and also interfacing your ancestry. So that's very important, I think, even to this level, because we got different religious, if that's the word. Of course, I think if Mr. Paul Ortega will say religious is not the word, he'll probably say it's the way of life. And those type of teaching we need more to separate what is the way of life. The way of life is just simply breathing it, singing it, walking it, and then praying it. So definitely I've tried to walk that life too. So I just want to address the family too. So thank you so much for also being a part. We've been very good friends, and it's a continuation as well. And of course, Kay, I work with you, and thank you, Doug, thank you. And all of you, you're good supporters, and this is just my way of giving it back. I do travel the world, and I'm very thankful. I try to be the best ambassador to walk the life and spreading the word about who we are as human beings. And most of our elders, and I'm thinking most of our Navajo elders, to tell you that to speak to your relatives, to your cat, not to be above them or below them, but to talk to them eye to eye. So I come to you as just a common human being, looking eye to eye, and this is just giving it back.